Once upon a time, there was a lawyer in San Diego, a good person, a very good person, who tried to get a number of rabbis here to sign a letter saying that if there would ever be sexual predators inside of a community, that the rabbis would agree that it would be policy of the community to report them to the police. You shouldn't need a letter, by the way, that people sign on to say that. Like, it should be obvious that people would do such a thing, but it's not so obvious, and the pilpulim that are used to justify abuse in the Jewish community are horrible. It's not the topic of the shiur. When he went around, it came down to there was one rabbi of a very large synagogue here who was willing to sign it, and myself. He couldn't get any other rabbis to sign this letter. And he came to talk to me about it because likely that rabbi, if my name would be on it and his name would be on it, probably the other rabbi wouldn't sign if just me was there. So I told him, listen, in my community, it's only us here. I will obviously do this. You don't need me to sign a paper, but you probably have a lot more chances of that ever coming up in a big community. You should get him to sign it. But why was that important to me? Because when the conversations were happening of, no, we should deal with things internally, inside of the Jewish community, Jews somehow think that we have our own system of law and order when clearly we don't have a system of law and order in place. It could be that if we did have a system of law and order, that we would have, but we don't. Mamash, we don't. And therefore to say we'll deal with it internally usually just means we're going to sweep it under the rug and we'll hide it or we'll move it somewhere else. Or if you've ever watched the movie Spotlight of the Catholic Church, and if you haven't, by the way, it's an important movie to watch, about how moving an abusive priest from one place to another place doesn't solve the problem. It just moves the problem around to other places, and we should never experience such things. We're dealing with the bedin. The Batei Din don't even know if the tomatoes that come in a can are kosher. How are they going to deal with a sexual predator or a serial rapist?